Look, Brennan, I don't want you to give me that look. I was just saying, would you be able to recognize a hemorrhoid if you were to see one? I'm sorry.
Um, Maybe. I don't know what to say. Let's. I'm gonna change the topic here quickly. Hello, music fans. Welcome to Bands and Beers with Brennen. I'm your host, Brennen. The band today is Moneen, a Canadian band whose style could be described as a combination of indie rock, emo, and post-hardcore. And the beer today is Crystal Park Pilsner. And today my guest is Zandy. How's it going?
Hello, music fans.
All right.
I'm here again. I don't know if you're airing these in order, but yeah,
Maybe,
I'm
who
here to
knows?
talk about Moneen. Sorry.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll put out this video before the other one we did, or who knows? It'll be a mystery.
Well, all right. Moneen is one of my absolute favorite bands. And I really can't wait to talk about them.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Let's. So we're gonna do chronological order and talk about each album a little bit and talk about our top 2 songs. Maybe sometimes we'll do a gimme and pick a third. And then at the end, we will rank the albums from our least favorite to our favorite. So don't miss that part. Stay to the end if you want to know the good stuff.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that dial. Don't change the channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
So let's start it off by talking about their 2001 album, The Theory of Harmonial Value. Not on Spotify, so it was actually a little bit harder for me to listen to, but I found most of the songs on YouTube, and I guess you have it. You actually have it.
Yeah, I have the disc of it here.
That's awesome. The production, I think, is pretty raw. They were pretty young when they made this. You can feel the youthful energy on this, though, and while it's not as polished or maybe traditionally good as the other albums, there is a nice charm to it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty well captured it right there. Like, it's definitely not like it's. I mean, like, oh god. I have like my stack of like Moneen albums here, but I forgot to grab their DVD. We'll probably talk about this when we talk about Red Tree, but like, you know, like they have a lot of like you can see a lot more of like the kind of better production in their later stuff on their, because they have a whole documentary of making of the Red Tree.
Yes.
But Theory of Harmonial Value is very raw, very very loose compared to their other stuff. But like the thing is, it's a very charming album. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like some kids like really they're onto something. It sounds like if you're hearing like these kids jamming, you're like, those kids, they found something. They found a sound. It's cool.
You're showing your age, Brennan, but. But no, I know what you mean.
They
though.
probably were real, like compared to us now. They were probably way younger than us than we are now when they made this.
Oh no. But yeah, I mean, like there's songs on here that like they still play like very actively, like whenever they play live shows, right? Like Tonight I'm Gone and Passing America, which I'm sure are gonna be both of our top songs for this.
Oh, are those your top 2 songs?
Oh, absolutely.
Interesting. Yeah, they're in my maybe my top 6 of the album, but they're actually not in my top. They aren't my top 2.
But I mean, yeah, like it's. I mean, honestly, like whenever I listen to this album, like I just kind of let it wash over me. Like I didn't actually listen to it for the first time until like probably a year or 2 ago. And at that point, like, you know, like you said, it's really hard to find. It's not on Spotify. It's not on any streaming services.
Yeah.
So I had to like specially like buy it off of the like the Vagrant Records like store. Then like, you know, like 2 weeks later, I found it like in my laundry room. Like someone just tossed a copy there, like on a table. It was just there. I was like, oh, sweet.
That's amazing.
Yes, but
You
anyway,
have 2 copies now.
well, I gave one of them to someone else, but yeah, so like it's not one that I actually like know all the names of the songs on, but like it's one that I really like the general like tone. Like I said, I just kind of let it wash over me whenever I listen to it.
Cool. Well, my top 2 songs actually aren't those 2. I know they always close their concerts with Passing of America, but I actually do kind of find that one to be a bit like a tad overrated, and it like kind of drags on a bit for me. It is long, like 6:53, a bit long for that song. And even Tonight I'm Gone as well. It's got a cool vibe, but it drags on. It's 12:27. I don't think it needs to be that long.
To be fair though, that's the album version that has like the whole like monologue at the end.
Okay, yeah.
Of like the like here's my theory of hormonal value, like the
Yes, that's true, and it does give a kind of trippy vibe to it. But I think even the song itself it drags on longer than it needs to. But it's good stuff. I think they kind of toned in their songwriting, like the Red Tree, and later they didn't overstay on musical ideas, but here they're kind of not as experienced, so I think they might have done that a little bit, even though they're fine songs. But my number 1 and number 2 will be number 1's gonna be, oh, I like their song titles, by the way. It's a little tangent. They're like really, those crazy long song titles. That just makes it fun to try to talk about these songs. I'm sure it's actually kind of annoying when they're trying to say what song they're playing live and they end up like short forming all of them, but it's just kind of another fun thing that like some of these kind of emo bands and like other like core bands were doing at that time, where they would have like really long song names. Even Choke did it and Chiodos did it, and but the first song that I picked was What Did You Say? I'm Sorry, My Eyes Are on Fire, which is a great song name. And I mostly picked it honestly because like the tribal ending. It's like a lot of the songs in here are kind of samey, but this one had like weird like bongos and like tribal chants at the end. So I'm like, that's cool. They went there. And they don't really do any of that later, so it's pretty unique in their catalog in that way. And my number 2 is Why Bother Wondering When Wondering's All You Got. Another really long song name. Ambient and spacey guitars. There's a piano in the song too. And this one also something that popped out to me. I just kind of picked the ones that had like weird things that popped out to me and had this weird charm. There's sleigh bells in this song.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Makes me think of Christmas, and it's just so random. I'm like, what? There's like this.
It's though, I love it. It's so good.
It's like this post-hardcore emo, like spacey, ambient, like emotional song, and then all of a sudden, like sleigh bells. So I actually like it because it's so random.
Yeah. Like another song that I really like on here is the opening track. The start on this may be the end to another. Like just it kicks off like with those like really strong like vocal harmonies, and like it really kind of gives a good kind of sense as to like the sound of the album coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like how they have this kind of thing in these songs where like they don't really they kind of more like ebb and flow. They don't really like have a like contained kind of like verse chorus verse structure.
Yeah, it depends on the song. Some of them do have verse and chorus, but I know what you mean. Some of them just kind of like go. They just like happen, and there's like riffs, and then there's vocals, and they're just kind of like and then they just end, and you're like, wow, that was a song. All right.
Yeah, and I think that's why like I said, like the album kind of more just like washes over me whenever I listen to it, because like like one song might have like 2 or 3 different sections in it that just kind of like like that just kind of like all that's just kind of like a pleasant wave to just like listen to, right?
Although there is like I wouldn't say it's necessarily all sounds pleasant per se. Like there is like dissonance, and like some of their vocals can be grating, especially on this album, and in like a few select songs on the later albums, like their vocals get a lot better after this, in my opinion.
It went pleasant to me, Brennen. That's
like, I think if some people listen to this, they would think like the vocals are grating, and even the riff, like even the dissonance in a lot of the guitar riffs, I like it, but probably not for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, like, I still feel kind of like hurt by the fact that you said Passing of America is overrated, because like that is,
I think mostly like, just because they close every like I've seen them live 3 times, and every time they close with that song, and like everybody seems like super pumped by that one, but I actually, usually it's my least favorite song in their whole set that they play. Like when I'm watching them live, I think every time it's been my least favorite song in the set. Like I like, you know, when they play the Red Tree songs, or even songs from Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now, I just find a lot of those songs better.
Well, I mean, they are, but like, I don't know. I think there's a certain charm to the fact, like, you know, they wrote this song like 20 years ago, and even more actually, because it was on their like Smaller Chairs EP, from like 1999. So like, I mean, like the watch that they played like whatever, like in January of 2020, like they still like played that song. Like that was over 20 years old. There's something charming to that, I find, like that they. Like they're probably like in their 40s now, but like they're still playing these songs that they wrote like when they were teenagers. Like it's
yeah.
I think that's great. Honestly, like it's very charming. I find.
Yeah, it's cool. It doesn't bother me too much. It's just a little bit.
I mean, once again, I feel personally attacked by this, but that's fine.
All right. Well, let's move on then to their second album. Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now? Which is another like long name, from 2003. What do you have to say about that one?
Oh man, so this was my introduction to Moneen, but it wasn't like my really proper introduction to them, if that makes sense. Because it came out in 2003, like I was like we were still like, you know, like early teens, like we weren't quite in like the angst stage yet. Like, but we weren't really like old enough to like, you know, really appreciate punk. We weren't really old enough to appreciate like, you know, this genre of music. And I just remember like my brother playing a couple of these songs when I was in the car. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good, but like it didn't really like connect with me at the time. Like when I first heard it when I was like whatever, 13, 14. It wasn't until later when I revisited this that I was like, okay, yeah, this album is like fucking brilliant. Like it's I mean, we said this about Thrice, but like how it's a very like a more refined version of the sound they cultivated in the previous album, and how I don't know, like when I listen to this album, like I always just think of like to me, like whenever I listen to like an album, like I always have like this kind of thing where it's like, you know, like one half always sticks out to me more than the other one.
Yeah.
But this is one where when I think of like the first half, it's like the first 7 songs on this album out of like the 10 tracks. Because like it's like just like so good like throughout the first like 6 songs, I think, that like, and it doesn't really like let up on the gas until like the piano ballad song, which I think is track 7.
I don't remember. I believe the last song is also a piano ballad.
Once again, like I don't bother learning any of these names because they're all so fucking long. But like, you know, it's like the rework the devil.
Yeah, let him know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one, but I don't remember what that's called either.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it here.
Are you just gonna play?
But what do you think of this one?
You gonna play one?
Well, no, I'm just trying to find.
Yeah, what do I think of this album?
Yeah.
I think they really started upping their game with the guitar effects on the album. So yeah, like the first album, I don't think they used as many cool effects, but here they got that like spacey sounding indie rock emo post-hardcore stuff. The production quality and songwriting capabilities just improved since their first album, and my favorite song here would be Life's Just Too Short, Little Ndugu. Which has nice like 6 beat per bar intro with great guitar riff, and then the verse is kind of the 5 beats per bar, so they do the time signature change stuff too, and then I think the chorus is 4. Yeah, I think it's just a really cool song. And then my number 2 pick on this one would be Closing My Eyes Won't Help Me Leave. And this one also has cool rhythm, like 5 beat bar, and then another 5 beat. I think it does like, yeah, 2 5 beat bars and then 2 6 beat bars, and they have that kind of chant as well. That's like the don't say you're sorry, don't say you're sorry, don't say you're sorry, because sorry means something is wrong. So that's like a 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, it's got a cool like rhythm to it and a swing to it, and it's very like a good chant. Like you get the whole crowd singing along if you're playing something like that live. So I think that's a good song.
I mean, really the ones that stand out to me are like the kind of like 1-2 punch of Are We Really Happy and Start Angry and Mad. Because like those 2 songs like at the start of the album are just like like pretty, like I said, like I just love like the entire first like chunk of like 6 songs on here. It's like it doesn't even let up like once, and it's so good. But like the start of all that really is with the first 2 tracks here, which are like just so high energy and so like, I don't know, like we mentioned, like kind of a more refined version of like what they had before with Theory of Harmonial Value. But like this really like shows like you mentioned, like better production, better like songwriting, a lot tighter with like their kind of instrumentation. Like it's really like it just kind of like hits you in the face with like how much better it is like right off the hop. Like I still love like Theory of Harmonial Value, but like this one is just kind of like leagues above it in terms of just like production, just general like songwriting quality. Yeah,
agreed. And those 2 picks are good picks. I think those 2 that you picked are like probably the most memorable. So like if I was trying to think of the album and like trying to remember parts, it would probably be from those 2 tracks. And then when I was like re-listening, I kind of picked some like deeper cuts that had like kind of cool like rhythmic stuff, and because that's stuff that I like about them too, is that they're not all just like kind of standard all 4/4. I like how they change time signatures and they kind of get a little adventurous with their songwriting from time to time. So
yeah,
that's kind of what stuck out to me as some of the more adventurous ones.
Oh, I'll get to some deeper cuts later, but yeah, like I know what you mean. Like they're a very interesting band in terms of like kind of having that like kind of pop punky sound, but like still having that like very technical kind of songwriting in there.
Yes. Yeah, and I saw I saw them live in what was it, January 2020, was it? Or was it 2019?
I'm super jealous of that, by the way.
I saw the
earlier, but
I guess it was the 15th. Maybe it was January. I don't know when it was, but I think it was a 15-year anniversary of Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now? So they played the album from front to back, which was really awesome. Saw that with Sean in Toronto, and pretty good.
I'm super jealous of that, by the way.
Also, I really loved that Choke was the band that was opening up for them when I saw them, and Choke is really awesome. Really underrated, awesome technical punk band. And I think Moneen like got inspired by a lot of the more like adventurous time signature change, crazy riff stuff that Choke was doing, and brought that into their own music. So I think that was a really good pairing. Seeing those.
I've heard Kenny before say that, like, you know, he stayed at, like, they were touring with Choke for a while, and like they formed this like friendship that he refers to as Choneen. So,
Yeah.
like,
I think every time I saw Moneen was with Choke. I've seen them both 3 times.
like when we were in high school, like we definitely saw, like they definitely toured in our town like a bunch of times, like together.
Yeah, I saw them twice there and then once in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually around like the Are We Really Happy era was the first time that like we actually saw them together. Like, well, you and I together, not like Moneen and Choke, but like.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like that like weird ass concert hall that we saw them at. Like it was really like, it was kind of sketchy, but it was really fun.
What was that called? Oddfellows, is it?
It's called Oddfellows, yeah.
Oddfellows. Yeah, man, that place. There were some crazy concerts in that place. And it was like the stage was like only 5 inches off the ground, so the band was, you're pretty much there with the band.
It was just like a riser that they were on. Like it wasn't actually a stage, it's like a little like
thing. Yeah, it's not a stage, it's like a little thing that they stand on, and they're pretty much in the crowd rocking out with you.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I remember, I think it was when we saw Choke, like they did this thing where it's like, all right, like by the end of this song, like we want the entire audience to be on the stage, and we're gonna be like where you guys are right now. So like as like they were playing the song, like everyone just kind of like moved around. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. What was that? Was that Moneen and Choke when that happened?
I think they were playing together, but yeah, I think it might have been Choke that did that. I just remember that, and like, because they wouldn't have been able to.
Are you sure it wasn't? I think one of the opening bands one time was Attack in Black. Did they open for Choke?
They opened for Choke on the Retirement tour, if you remember that.
Yeah, wasn't that maybe the band that did the switching the stage in the crowd? It might have been.
Oh, it might have. Yeah, that was at a completely different venue. Okay, I'm mixing up.
I think Choke was there, but yeah, we're off on a tangent. It's all good.
It's like the 60 Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, let's talk. Are we done with the? Are we really happy with who we are right now, or did you have?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's the one album that they put out that I can't actually like hold up in front of the camera here. So like it's fine. Yeah. I mean, I really like that one. But it's another one where like pretty much every song on there is just a banger. I really love it.
All right, let's go to the Red Tree.
All right.
It is 2006, I believe. Their third album.
2006.
And I think they really stepped up their production and songwriting game again. And for me, I feel like this is their saddest and most emotional album. And for me, it's also got the most memorable hooks and lyrics to get you like singing along with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, first of all, like this is this album right here, like the Red Tree, they made a documentary about the recording of this album.
Okay, I haven't watched that. But maybe I might.
It's really good. I forgot to pull the DVD to show the camera, but it's really entertaining, especially if you watch it with the commentary on.
Okay.
Because like I think at one point they try to phone the producer like of the album. They're like, hey, let's see what he's up to. It says like right on the back of the album, like produced by Brian McTernan. They keep calling him B McT. But he really did like he got like their sound, right? Like he really like brought out the like he really amplified the kind of craziness of it for songs like Don't Ever Tell Locke What He Can't Do.
Yes.
Or like If Tragedy's Appealing or Bleeding Bliss. Like, but it's like once again like kind of like a tighter version of like what they had on.
Yeah, because on a few of their earlier albums, like they would do something kind of noisy, like scratching of the guitar and just like woo, like whale sound effects, and sometimes it would just kind of turn into this like wall of noise. But like on this one, it's all like finely produced, and even like the intro of the first song, "Don't Ever Tell Locke What He Can't Do," has that like starts with the like the kind of weird ascending crazy sonic madness, but it like actually sounds not chaotic and it fits.
Yeah, like it sounds like it sounds like you could actually like, you know, like write it out on like sheet music and it like makes sense, like
it sounds musical,
visually,
even
right?
though they're like scratching the guitar and just going like
It'd be like one of those like quarter notes, like the kind of like wiggly thing beside it. I haven't seen sheet music in like 12 years, but like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's just pick this as fast as you can and then slide it from this note to that note at a random speed.
The glissando.
Glissando and tremolo picking.
But yeah, I don't know. I really love this album. It's like, I don't know, like, first of all, I really appreciate that the first song is a Lost reference. But like, I don't know, like, if you're talking about like, you know, best songs on here, like, it's really fucking hard because like every single song on here is, because I mean, I should probably like mention, because like we first discovered this album back in, I think it was like late 2006 that we actually really started listening to this album, right?
Yeah, and actually I feel like maybe the first time we saw them live was right when this album was released, wasn't it? Because I feel like I remember when we saw them live, they were playing songs from this album. Maybe it was right before it got released, but they played songs from this album the first time we saw them live. And I also remember that we were at like a CD store. I think it was on a band trip.
It was a regular school trip, but we were in like, I think it was Quebec City.
Was it Quebec City? No, because our Quebec City trip was our grade 8 thing. I think it was band trip. I think it was rock and roll.
Our school was too frugal to send us anywhere for grade 8.
Wasn't grade 8 when we did Quebec City?
That was grade 10, I think.
No, because it was all Rosedale people.
It was, but it was a French trip. That's why we went to Quebec.
French. Yeah, maybe that's...
We went dog sledding, man.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought we might have bought... Maybe I'm crazy wrong. I thought we might have bought Moneen and Dragon Force.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we bought Moneen,
was...
The Red Tree, and Dragon Force in Human Rampage at a CD
Human
store.
Rampage.
And I remember it being... I thought it might have been at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something on a band trip in Chicago or Cleveland. No.
Cleveland,
that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is.
No, because we bought these out, like Moneen and Dragon Force, on the French trip in Quebec.
Okay.
And I remember like we just spent like the rest of the trip, like, I don't know if like it was in Montreal or Quebec City, but like we spent the rest of the trip like pretty much swapping the CDs back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I bought Moneen, you bought Dragon Force, and
we were trading them.
Yeah, like we were just like we were like listening to them like in tandem pretty much. It's like, all right, like swap them back.
I finished Dragon Force, so give me the Moneen and we'll swap them back.
Yeah, and that was this one right here. Like this is the same CD that like that we bought all those years ago. And yeah, that was in like late 2006, I think, or early 2007, because I remember looking at the back of the CD and being like, oh, like this just came out recently, like at the time, right? Wow. And yeah, I think that's what I always think of whenever I actually like, see the CD, but like I don't know, like it was just such like a perfect CD for the time, I think, that like, you know, I mentioned this during like the Thrice thing, but like, you know, like kind of like height of like teen angst and like.
Well, I remember you having the shirt and like I could picture you wearing that Moneen shirt all the time at high school.
Oh yeah, that was I lived in that thing, man.
Did you pick a top 2 songs from this one?
Oh no, I didn't actually, because I mean, I feel like I said this with like before, but like it's really hard for me to pick like two of these.
Go for three.
Now I'll go for three, I guess. I mean, I can do 4 or 5 if you want, but I really like. So as far as songs like I really like, This Is All Bigger Than Me, The Day No One Needs to Know, If Tragic, wait, hold on, Bleed and Blister version 3, the song I Swore I Would Never Sing. But as far as like favorite songs, I'd say Don't Ever Tell Locke What He Can't Do, and There Are a Million Reasons Why This May Not Work, and Just One Good One Why It Will.
Nice.
I'm reading these off my computer screen, all right? Don't.
Crazy song names.
I mean, I established, if you're airing these out of order, this won't make any sense, but as your viewer knows, I'm illiterate, so
all right, well, my favorite two, my number one will be The Day No One Needed to Know. I think the guitar parts are great, the vocals are great. There's the part where they drop all the instruments and they just have the lead vocalist singing that sing for life, sing for choices, sing for everyone without voices, and then the whole band comes in.
Sing for love.
Yes, that is so good when the band comes back in. Great. And then number two will be This Is All Bigger Than Me, and I love that one. It's got these three guitar notes that just keep ringing over and over again for the first 2 minutes of the song. They're like, hey, how are you? I think I might explode. And it's got those three notes. They literally like play the same three notes over and over again for 2 minutes, but there's cool stuff behind it, and they like layer things. And then at the 2 minute mark, like the first 2 minutes are soft and beautiful, and then the last minute just brings in the power of the whole band to end it off like really powerfully, which is awesome.
Yeah. I also really love the lyrics in that song too. Like they're just so good. Like,
yeah, like I remember the lyrics kind of sound like sad and about like failed relationships and stuff like that is what I imagine most of the themes are. They are really sad. It's not a band that like you listen to it and like, I'm gonna be super cheerful listening to this. It's very much like these are sad songs if you want to like cry.
No, but I mean, This Is All Bigger Than Me is like super anti-capitalist. Like, I love that. And for a band in like 2006 to like put out a song like that, I think is like really cool. Like, because like it's Anyway, I don't want to get into this, but the fucking GameStop thing that happened this week. Anyway,
I've been watching some news about that. That's crazy world.
Oh no, that immediately dated this video. Oh no.
Now I need to make this one the first one that I post.
I just fucked the whole thing up. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Well, let's move on to their last album, The World I Want to Leave Behind, from 2009. Their fourth and final full-length album. At least at the time of making this video, like can always like cross our fingers and hope that they'll come back. I don't know or think that they will, but it's been 11 or 12 years. So I mean, I think they will do like kind of every once in a while they'll do like a show to kind of like commemorate like an anniversary, but I don't expect them like to come back and do like an album, although it would be amazing. So I hope they do.
It's like a System of a Down thing, right? Where it's like, they're probably never gonna make new music. They're just kind of
Although System of a Down tours extensively and plays like a lot of shows, but they did make 2 new songs in 2020 actually, but not an album. They released them as singles for. This is a tangent, but they released some singles for fundraising for Armenia.
That's cool.
But yeah. But Moneen, what do you think of this one, The World I Want to Leave Behind?
Well, I mean, this is after they switched drummers. So
I didn't even know they switched drummers.
They did, yeah. It was.
I don't think I followed that part.
Yeah, it was right between these two albums. I mean, I pretty much only like really knew that because in 2008 I saw them live and they played like a purely acoustic set.
Because
they just like
their drummer left.
Yeah, like their drummer left, and like
I think their original drummer came back and is now.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw them live, it's been the original drummer.
Yeah, I don't think they would play any of these songs live because of the drummer switch. But like when I saw them live in 2008 after their drummer Peter left, I just remember it was like an acoustic set, and they just like refused to leave the stage. Like the thing that I always remember is just like their bassist was on stage. Their singer, he went to the bathroom, and Hippie, he was at the bar ordering another drink.
Yeah.
And Eric, their bassist, he was on stage. And he started playing that Backstreet Boys song. You are my fire, the one.
What's that called? I Want It That Way?
I Want It That Way. If I kept going, I would have gotten it. But then I just remember like Kenny coming back from the bathroom being like no, don't play that. Like he went back into the bathroom and then Eric just like kept playing it.
That's
But during that time, I remember Kenny saying something about like how he's like, okay, like this next song like is a new song, like we're gonna like, but like it's called Believe right now, but like I always name my songs like something really long and stupid and I can never remember it. So I'm just gonna call this one B. So he started playing it. That was the first time I ever heard the song Believe.
Nice.
But then I saw them again a year later after they had their new drummer. And I just remember it was a really, really solid show. Like they leaned really heavily on this album. They played, I think, like The World I Want to Leave Behind, Hold That Sound, Great Escape, Believe, like most of like the greatest hits from this album. Like Waterfalls, Monument. And yeah, I don't know, like I just always remember, like that's what kind of always sticks in my mind for this album. Is just kind of that
show.
Yeah, that show and that kind of like carefree kind of like early undergrad time of my life where it just kind of like I'm an adult now. like the world's ahead of me kind of thing. I don't know where you were at when like we lived like 100 meters apart. I don't know why we didn't visit each other more often, but like
we visited each other quite a few times, but yeah, maybe we should have done more often.
Yeah.
Do you have like a top two songs from this one?
Oh, I wanted to hear what you think of this album first. Honestly,
I like it. It's probably out of their album is their most like typical indie rock style album and has a lot less of that post-hardcore and emo roots, so it still has some. So like, it's their least unique in that it's the most kind of like generic radio rock sounding album, but it is still really good. And my favorite song on it would be Hold That Sound, which is super catchy. And second favorite would be Great Escape, which has some nice guitar riffs, excellent vocal melodies. This has time signature changes too. I think it's like 5 beats per bar in the verse and then 4 in the chorus, and a super catchy chorus. I also like how on this album, I think there's some songs that are sung not by the Kenny, I think, the main singer who sings most of the songs, but I think some songs are sang by Chris Hippie Hughes.
I think he always kind of swaps out for vocals in like all their albums, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's true, but I believe there were a couple really notable ones on this album where he like took the lead. I believe they always like both of them sing in all the songs, but usually Kenny is the lead and Hippie is backing, and like, or they will kind of go back and forth a little bit, but it always seems like Kenny's the lead. But there are songs in here where I feel like the lead is Hippie and Kenny is backing. I'm trying to remember which songs. I think
just looking through the CD book right now to see.
Redefine.
Yeah, he takes the verses, I think. Yeah, you're right.
I don't remember the lyrics, but that song, I actually really like how they have that sound of a different vocalist taking the lead, and it kind of freshens it up.
Yeah, they did that less on the Red Tree, but they did it more in like their kind of earlier stuff. Like I can't remember the name of the song, but there's one that they. Okay, I should have gone back on this, but in Theory of Harmonial Value, they have Passing of America. Then at the very end, they kind of have this kind of interlude that they play. Then they use that same music for a song on. God, why can't I remember this right now? Their next album.
Are we really happy with
We're really happy that we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they use the same music on the next song, or on the next album. I think Hippie takes the lead on that one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they do that. I don't think they do it at all on the Red Tree.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
I feel like Kenny is almost always the lead singer, but then there's really like clear songs on The World I Want to Leave Behind where that's not the case. And I kind of like that. It gives it a fresh sound. Actually, though, there is a song on here. Probably my least favorite Moneen song would be Waterfalls, to be honest. If I had to like remove one song from this album, I'm trying to wonder why. I'm trying to understand why. I think maybe the vocals sound a little bit too whiny for me on it. And like, I think they're even like a little off key, and I didn't find the composition that interesting either. But I like the rest of this album a lot. That's kind of more like the weaker moment for me.
Okay. Fair enough, I guess. I'm honestly surprised you didn't say Glass House was one of your favorite songs, because that song changes key signature or time signatures like every like 2 bars.
Yeah, I think that one goes between like 5 and 4 and stuff too.
It's 5, 4, and 6 throughout the entire song.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. There's so many good songs on this album, and even like The Long Count, I think, has really awesome time signature changes. But there's also a lot of like beautiful songs, even like Lighters.
Yeah,
and they really do that well too. Like, it's not all about like the kind of crazy, like more technical and riffy and time signature change. Some of it's just like these beautiful songs that can give you the chills too.
Yeah, like they really lean into like the kind of like the stuff that they did in like the back half of Red Tree, where it's kind of like slower, more kind of like methodical, like more ballady songs almost, like where it's I don't know, like where it's not quite like the kind of crazy like noise music that they were making, like whatever.
They don't have as much of that weird like space like effects and weird whale noises and crazy crap on this album. But I think they still might have a little bit from time to time, but it's way toned down.
Yeah, it's more like pushed to like the sides of the album, like with like at the start and at the end.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess like Monument is pretty, and like Long Count are pretty well like that too. But like, it's like a W shape. Like, you know what I mean?
So I think I said my top 2. Did you have a top 2 on this one?
Oh yeah. I mean, in the interest of like not overlapping, because I feel like if you make a Spotify playlist for this, it's gonna be like 4
overlap
songs
is
long.
Interesting. If my 2 are your top 2, Like
No,
that.
I mean, like, honestly, like, I think I'm gonna do like 3 for this. All right, I'm gonna be a jerk and do this. Hold That Sound, Monument, and Glass House, I think are probably my top 3, with Believe, I think, being a bubble song.
Cool.
Because yeah, like, and I mean, just like I mean, I keep referencing the last thing that we did, but like just like with Beggars, this kind of like is really emblematic of that kind of like, you know, early adult years of just kind of like yeah, like I'm 19 now, I can do anything, like kind of feeling. Yeah, so like, that's what this album always makes me think of. And yeah, like it's I really, I mean, like, there's no album in Moneen's discography that I dislike.
Same here. Just like the first one feels like rough around the edges, but I still like it. It's got the charm. And on that note, let's do our ranking. You wanna?
Well, hot damn! All right, let's
rank them from your least favorite to your favorite.
Well, I guess you want me to go first then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Given that sick lead in. All right, so bottom of the barrel, I mean, not bottom of the barrel, but like, you know, the bottom of the very esteemed
awesome
barrel. Yeah, is Theory of Harmonial Value. It's the one that I've honestly listened to the least, and the one that I think has the least kind of distinct sounds in it. But I mean, like I said earlier, like it's a very pleasant wave to just kind of have like wash over me, right? Like every time I listen to it, like it's but I feel like it's more a victim of like circumstance, and this is more of a me problem, but like more victim of the circumstance of like, you know, I'm like in my 30s now and just like have other stuff to, I just kind of put it on the background, listen to it. It's like, oh yeah, this is great. Like I love this.
Yeah.
Next one would be the World I Want to Leave Behind. It's probably the one that I've listened to the most out of all of them. Right. And I feel like it covers like a very wide range of kind of moods. So like if I feel like kind of more like upbeat, I can listen to like the first like couple songs, like the middle couple songs, like the last couple songs. And then if I feel a bit more down, then I would want to listen to like kind of like middle ones, you know, like like Believe or Waterfalls or whatever. Then Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now is my number 2. I think I said this, but like pretty much every song on here is just a banger. Like and just kind of like with The World I Want to Leave Behind, it's also the only one I don't have physically, so I would kind of hold it up otherwise. But just like that one, if like it covers that kind of wide range of moods, but like it's more upbeat and more kind of like energetic than their other ones. So like if I kind of, so it's kind of more of like typical Moneen sound if I wanted to like listen to them. Then top is Red Tree. Oh god, I'm ruining everything. Yeah, Red Tree. It's the one that I have like the strongest kind of like emotional connection to. It's the one that I feel like really defines their range the best. And I know I didn't say this in our discussion of it, but like the song I Swore to Never Sing is like probably their best closing track out of all of them, because it's like it does a very good job of kind of like just kind of settling you down and just kind of like, I don't know, even though the lyrics are like super dark, but like yeah, it's a very good album to kind of like, I don't know, it's like the one that kind of like would recenter me the best if I'm ever feeling weird or whatever. So like, yeah, it's more of an emotional pick, but yeah, it's like my personal favorite. Yeah.
All right. Well, my ranking is pretty similar, but not exactly the same. My number 4 is going to be The Theory of Harmonial Value. Just like you picked, again, their youthful energy, but still kind of raw and unpolished and not quite as good as their future albums, but a nice charm to it. And then my number 3 will be Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now? Their second album. They started upping their game. It's still a really good album. I just like the other 2 better. My number 2 is going to be The World I Want to Leave Behind, which was their last album. And yeah, I really like it. I listened to this a lot. I think, and then my number 1 is Red Tree. So Red Tree and The World I Want to Leave Behind are the 2 that I listen to the most. Like, I'll just listen to those ones over and over again. I don't tend to listen to, like, the first one, Theory of Harmonic Value, I've only ever listened to twice. I don't like, it's kind of hard to find, and I don't really listen to it that much. Are We Really Happy With Who We Are Right Now? I've listened to like many times, but just not as many as Red Tree and World I Want to Leave Behind, which I like listen to a lot. I think Red Tree is really good. Very emotional, very kind of sad. Like I said, it's a sad band, but it's really well done stuff.
Nice. I mean, you can always be cool like me and just get the CD.
Maybe I will one day. I like so much music. There's all sorts of like CDs on my list to buy. Hope you didn't just break that.
No, it's fine.
And I don't know how we want to close out this video. I know you've been drinking and you have a ukulele, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wrote a theme song. I mean, you've been doing a couple episodes, but I feel like you need a theme song for this.
Okay, let's hear it. I'll be the judge of whether it makes the cut and can remain as the closing track of the video.
All right. Okay. Okay. I know you're a married man now, but I miss the way that you taste. Oh, Brennen, I want you to sit on my face. You hide me from your family because you think that I am a disgrace. Oh, Brennen, I want you to sit on my face tonight. Whoa, tonight. So feel free to use that anytime, in every video. Please do.
I have to say I'm flattered. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that.
Thank you.
I'll decide when I'm. Thank you. It's an honor to be the subject of such a beautiful, uplifting song.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, anyone would be flattered. So thank you.
And I'll decide when I'm editing whether that makes the cut. But now that I'm saying this spiel after that, it kind of has to.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have like a sign off or?
Other than just, I hope somebody watching this has decided to, hopefully there's some person that watches this at some point, and hopefully this either inspires them to check out Moneen if they haven't already, or if they know Moneen, it like revitalizes their love for Moneen and lets them go back and listen to old treasures. Until next time.
Yeah.
All right.